Boys and Girls Club Community Leader of the Year, Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Health Award, California State Assembly 49th District Merchant of the Year, KSCI Channel 18 Role Model of the Month. Isn't that amazing? I wasn't even Role Model of the decade. He got Role Model of the Month. Upjohn Company Scholastic Achievement Cleo Cross Memorial Scholarship. But let me tell you, and give him a round for applause for that. But let me tell you, the most important thing that Victor has done, you will not see it on the resume. You will see it in the success of many young men and women, pharmacy students that are undergraduate, he encouraged to go to pharmacy school. People that he paid for them for a scholarship to buy books and tuition, and then found them a job. You won't see that on the resume. You won't see it for the first year. You may see it 10 or 20 years later. But I remember when I was in the state assembly, Victor Law brought up 12 to 20 young people, pharmacists, to say, if you want to be a good pharmacist, you have to know what the law is affecting healthcare, funding for healthcare and pharmacy, pharmaceutical companies, for pharmacists, small businesses. And he paid for all of them. Paid for all of them. Took them there, bought them lunch, bought them dinner, brought them breakfast, and then brought them to the state capitol. And year after year, he does that. And then he also paid for scholarships and mentored these young people at USC School of Pharmacy, Western University School of Pharmacy, UCLA, I think he only does Trojans, no, not Bruins. So anyway, Victor, you have been an amazing person, and I'm sorry Judy is under the weather. She's looking for a pharmacy right now to get over her ailment. But Victor, Judy also, even more so, appreciates your accomplishment. For Judy to become the first Chinese American Congresswoman, and you to become the first Chinese American in almost all of these, we give you a tremendous amount of respect. So on behalf of the United States House of Representatives, I would like all of you to stand right now, because if you don't, that rice you sitting is going to dry. You cannot stand up later. Let's give Victor Law a round of applause for his special accomplishment as president of the California State Board of Pharmacy. Also, Mike Ng's little certificate worth about 5 cents. Please keep clapping, because if you don't, you're not going to eat. Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Any more pictures?
Here, 1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
Thank you. Oh.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the keynote speech tonight, only 1 hour, then we can eat, is the Honorable Victor Law, President.
Thank you very much. I'm just so humble that you all are here to celebrate for me, which is the most important thing. And you know, Mike said it right. I came here to the state 40-something years ago with only $20. And to come all the way to be the president of my profession is really something. You know how I found Mike? It was like 20 years ago when I was chair of a commission in the city of Monterey Park. And I did a project called Harmony Month and had a party. Since we were so successful, we got an award from then Governor Pete Wilson. So me and Judy went up to Sacramento and got the award. So I needed an MC for that party. And then there's this guy called Mike King said, would you like me to do it? I said, have you done this before? He said, no. Geez, I'm taking a big chance on you, but I pick him anyway. And ever since, I think he's changed his profession. He should be professional MCs. Give a big hand to Mike. And he's going to be the newly elected state senator for this district. I hope all of you in November, we'll cast your vote for him, which is very important for the Asians to have representation in Sacramento. And so being a state senator up there is so important for all of us, so you guys have to know. And Mike was also the person who wrote me a very strong letter of recommendation to then Governor Jerry Brown to recommend me to the Board of Pharmacy. And that's how I got here, because of Mike. And he said it right, it's a very difficult journey. I was on the waiting list for 8 years. I'll tell you how tough it is, because like he said, there are like 50,000 pharmacists in the state of California, and only 7 members got to be appointed to the board. So out of 50,000, to compete for 7 person. And then for the community pharmacy, there are only 2 vacancies, so I'm one of those 2. And to be elected to the board, I have to work with all my other 12 members on the board. And in May last month, all 12 of them voted for me unanimously as the president of this board. I'm proud to be here because I have good supporting groups, and I do have to thank them here, because without them, I won't be who I am. Okay? Now, number one, my dad said you have to thank the people who support you. The first one, of course, my boss. I have many bosses, okay? So from the store in Alhambra, Dr. Mo. Where's Dr. Mo over there? So I can thank you, Dr. Mo, okay? This is Mo. From my store in St. Gabriel, I have Dr. Sukin Lee. Dr. Sukin Lee, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sukin Lee. And for store number 3 in Monterey Park, I have Dr. Philip Zor and Dr. Edward Su over there. Please stand up, Dr. Philip Zor and Dr. Edward Su. And of course, all my employees at those 3 tables. So please give them a big round of applause for me. 1, 2, and 3. Please stand up. A1, A2, and A3, all my employees. Please stand up, okay? I want people to recognize you guys. All my pharmacists and technicians over there. Yeah, and Teresa here in the back, my duty employees. See, without all these loyal employees, I couldn't go to Sacramento. Almost every month I have to fly up there. And I have to rely on my boss to give me the business and my employees to take care of the customers. And obviously, besides my bosses, there will be my family, okay? So I have my brother, Andrew, and Shannon came all the way from Fremont, California, and to support me. So my brother, Andrew, and Shannon. And their son, Adam and Sophia. Please stand up, Adam and Sophia. Thank you. And obviously, my right-hand person is my son. Where's Simon? Simon Law? Where are you? Let's stand over there. Yeah, he's kind of shy, he's not like me. And my good classmate all the way from Hong Kong, Mr. Raymond Ng, he helped to coordinate all this stuff today. Raymond, where are you? Stand up, Raymond. Thank you. And to enjoy life, there's a lot of things besides working. I have my fun part. I have my badminton group. Where's my badminton people? Right there. Yeah. And then I also have my ping pong people. Right over there, the ping pong group. Besides ping, I have the golf. Okay, Peter. Right, Peter over there. I play golf with Peter Chung from Sam Wu Restaurant. Right there, Peter. Okay. And also my lunch group. This is the people who always make me laugh and tell me dirty jokes. That's the lunch group here right here. Dr. Joseph Wong and company. James Jan. And Dr. Joseph Wong is one of the most generous PhD in San Marino. How many other people always pay you for lunch without asking for it? He's the only guy. Okay? Besides that, I have other friends like Robert Yao, Frank Mong, and Albert? Yeah. But the most important thing, I have spiritual friends too, okay? The church from St. Thomas Church, where are you? Over there, yeah. And I have volunteer supportive groups too. I volunteer at a group in Huntington Hospital for supporting the cancer patients who speak only Cantonese. It's the Huntington group, Dr. Kenneth Lam, Ernie So over there. Ernie, please stand up and get. So as you can see, I do a lot of things. Besides working, playing, I do many things. But the most important things of all is I want you to be here, to have a good time, enjoy the food, and later on, Frank Ma is going to be responsible for the karaoke section. So you can hear a lot of good songs from my friends and enjoy the time. Thank you all for coming.
We also have a very important guest that has arrived. Our former water utilization member, our former state controller, and the current state treasurer, Mr. John Chang. Come on up. The Honorable John Chang.
Thank you, Raymond. It's an extraordinary privilege to join you on this celebratory occasion. We celebrate an individual who has given much. If anybody wants to finish the rest of the quote, I don't know how many of you watch the Marvel movies or read the Marvel comics, and who your superhero is, right? Does anybody know that quote from Spider-Man? With great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. And so here we have an extraordinary public servant, an extraordinary individual who just went through his life, right? And he covered everything. Obviously, he's very honest, because no politician would talk about getting together with a group that talks about dirty jokes. But then he's covered because he has this church group right next to the dirty jokes group. But we all know Victor is a model of what California and America needs. It also talks about how high our ascendancy can become. Right? An individual who cares deeply about his community, who cares deeply about his family, who cares deeply about his colleagues, his boss, his co-workers. And I just wanted to also highlight and thank all of you, because he couldn't be as successful as he is without each and every single one of your support. And by your generosity, your support, he's able to give to others. We know that his position comes with, as Spider-Man, great responsibility. We have pharmacists, some of his colleagues. When you think about so many individuals today and talk about the drug crisis in America and opioids, right? One of the biggest tasks that we have to address that crisis are the people on the front line. It's the pharmacists, right? And you have people that are going to fall under Victor's authority. We have a growing healthcare crisis in California and the United States of America. And if we want prevention, if we want the economic and financial security of millions of California families, right, we need to make sure that you have the proper treatment and protocols in place. That falls under, in part, Victor's charge. And what I especially love about Victor is his extraordinary giving, generosity, and sacrifice. If you watch him time and again, he always is working to involve the next generation. At his public events, he brings so many young people. And so whether it's down in San Diego, where he's asked me to attend, or at USC, where he brings the other elected offices, including Mike and others, to speak, right? He has a long vision to make sure that the next generation is meaningfully involved, that they are giving an opportunity. And last point, in the United States of America, we have an economic and social mobility crisis that is unfolding. But I think what people don't appreciate that is Victor is addressing that individually through his own actions by the exercise of his power. So I think all of us need to understand that during his service, as good as you have been to helping him, he's going to need more of our support so he can be more successful. Because if he is more successful, we all benefit. So let's give a loud round of applause. If I may ask, can I ask all of you to stand and give Victor a standing ovation as I ask everyone to stand. Let me ask other elected officials to join me. Let me present this resolution on behalf of the state of California.
Thank you, John, for this wonderful work. So thank you all for being here. Now it's lunchtime. So 廚房起菜，唔該。